We just celebrated Katniss's 5th birthday. In honor of that occasion, I would love to share her gotcha story with you. But this is not just any old gotcha story. Stay tuned to the end for a special birthday giveaway. This story takes place in April of 2018. I was not in a good place. I had just lost my previous cat Maddie under extremely tragic circumstances. If you're curious about exactly what happened, I made a video explaining the situation. But for the purposes of this video, all that you need to know is that that happened, and mentally I was really struggling. Pretty much everybody in my life knew that I was struggling, and they were trying to help in various ways. One of those people, his name is Kurt, and I know Kurt because he used to scalp tickets out in front of Coors Field where the Rockies play. I've mentioned previously we are season ticket holders, so we would always give him our extra season tickets and then he would resell them for profit. Kurt is much older and he's a retired veteran, and the ticket scalping was an income supplement, so we were happy to help him out. Kurt knew I was struggling, and he started telling me about these colonies of feral cats that lived in the trailer park where he lives. And apparently there's like a ton of colonies of cats there, but he would tell me about one in particular that lived underneath his trailer. And he kind of said, I think he was maybe joking at first, but he's like, I could catch one of them for you. I mean, I really do appreciate the thought, but my first reaction was thank you, but no thank you. I am somebody who, after I lose a pet, I have to have some time to mourn and kind of process before I'm ready to get another. Just being a cat person, I knew eventually someday I would get one, but I definitely was not planning on doing that anytime soon. Well, one day, out of the blue, Kurt tells me that he had actually caught a kitten. He called me up and he said, it's a baby Siamese. It looks just like your old cat. Do you want it? My very first reaction deep down was, there is no way in the world I want another baby Siamese. So my cat that I had lost, Maddie, had been a baby Siamese mix that I got off a Craigslist ad. This was another baby Siamese mix, about the same age actually, kind of, from a feral colony, but somewhat of an unknown background. A lot of trouble happened with Maddie, a lot of behavioral issues. Honestly, I knew that when I was ready to get a cat, the exact same type would probably be the last thing I'd want. But, Kurt said something that really caught my ear, which was that she was not in good shape. He sent me a couple of pictures, and it was really clear from the photos that this poor kitten, had some issues. And he basically just said, look, I can't keep she's super sweet and loving, but I cannot keep her in my house. So if you do not want her, I'm going to put her back outside. And he also tells me the way he caught her. So the mom cat had been out sunning herself with her litter one day, and right outside the trailer, so the way that it's set up is there's a trailer and then there's a tree stump pushed up against the corner of it. And the cats, they live underneath the trailer, so when they want to go underneath the trailer, they hop up on the tree stump and then they climb up that way. Well, something apparently startled the mom cat that day, and so she jumped up on the tree stump and disappeared, and the kittens followed suit. Well, I guess Katniss was the last, of course her name was not Katniss at the time, but who became Katniss was the last one in that line of kittens trying to jump up on that tree stump, and she kept falling backwards and crying and yelping. She was too weak and tiny to make the jump, so that is how he snatched her. As much as I did not want another baby Siamese and knew I wasn't ready to have another cat permanently, I did tell him that I would take her because I didn't want him to put her back outside. So truthfully, my intention at that time was to go get her, bring her home, spend the time, the money, whatever was required to nurse her back to health, and then to find her an amazing home. So one night, it was actually July 1st, 2018, I drove up to Kurt's house to pick up Katniss, and when I got there, he actually couldn't find her, and so we had to spend a few minutes looking for her. Turns out she was hiding behind one of the couch cushions, so when we pulled out that couch cushion, there's this tiny little floof ball just just shoved in the little corner, just hiding and trembling. So I picked her up, and she's a super floofy cat, so one of the first things I noticed is she was skin and bones covered by floof. And she also was immediately just super loving. She buried herself in my shoulder near my neck while I sat there talking to him about her. And I just, oh my gosh, I was happy to take her, brought her in the car. I remember on the drive home, she sat in my lap just purring. There's a piece of me that felt, I don't know, good. I'm going to do something good. I'm going to help another cat. This is going to help, make up for Maddie's death somehow. But I wouldn't say that I felt an immediate bond. And I think that was intentional. I was really trying to keep this like guard up in my mind. In fact, truthfully, I do remember having the thought on the drive home, like, I should probably take just a lot of pictures of her because, while she's at my house, because someday he's gonna, ask for them and I need to be able to like kind of prove, quote, quote, that she's still with me, which I realize sounds horrible. But again, I was gonna make sure only good stuff happened to her, to Katniss, but I was also trying to look out for myself too, and I just did not feel ready. So when I got Katniss home, I have this downstairs bathroom that I created as like her room. I set up food, water, litter, a big fluffy blanket for her to sleep on. And the very first night I brought her home, I gave her a bath too, which she was really good. She hates water today, but at that time she was really good about it. And the very next day, I took her to a veterinarian. And if I remember correctly, I spent like about $500, and she had multiple things wrong. None of them were horrible, but she had ringworm, she had a severe upper respiratory infection. The vet did confirm she was severely underweight. I got some medicine and some special food and some high calorie gel to bring home. And, for the next 6 weeks, the plan was just basically TLC. I thought helping her would help mend my broken heart, and I thought I was doing good. So, like I mentioned, during the days, she would have free reign of the house, and she's actually a really fun and rambunctious kitten, very curious, took lots of photos. I mean, she just, so precious. Her eyes actually cleared up really quickly, so the things started to resolve. She had a good appetite, and, it really did help me boost my spirits, but also, I was really, really, really strict about locking her in that bathroom every night. I would not let her sleep with me because I was so afraid I did not want to develop a bond with her. And I just kind of figured that was the line in the sand. Like, if she slept near me, that would be more likely to develop this deep bond that would be hard to break than if she didn't. So at night she would go into the bathroom, and then again in the morning I'd let her out. Pretty much everybody in my life says they knew, instantly, no matter what, I was going to keep Katniss. But I genuinely, deep down genuinely, didn't think so. So anyway, this pattern goes on for a while. I remember the moment like it was yesterday. This was after Katniss had been at my house for about 6 to 7 weeks. And one night she was out playing, and I was on my bed working on the computer, reading a book. I don't remember exactly what I was doing. But you know how when you're doing that and it's getting late and you start to feel tired, I should get up, I should turn off the lights, I should brush my teeth, I should put the cat in the bathroom, whatever it is you need to do. You start thinking that because you know you're drifting to sleep. I started having those thoughts, and the next thing I know, I wake up at 3 in the morning with the lights on and my computer, shoved to the side, and this tiny little kitten curled up right beside me purring. I looked down at her and that's when I knew, guys. I knew that she was home to stay. There is absolutely no way that I could part with her. It was such a simple moment, but it just was so, so, so meaningful. Katniss helped me climb out of what was spiraling into some kind of depression over Maddie's death. And it was simple things along the way. It wasn't some big grandiose boom. And so absolutely, after that moment, for sure she was home to stay. She became mine. There was no more talk or thought of giving her away. And it's this burden had been lifted. And so, we just celebrated 5 years. So she's 5 years old now. Katniss has now been alive and on this earth just as long as Maddie had been, because Maddie died right after her 5th birthday. And there are so many similarities between the two of them in how they look, in situations that, places that she lays or things she does. There are times where I really wonder, did Maddie have a hand in sending Katniss to me? I don't know what that looks like or how that works, but I really do believe in, something else out there, and there's just been too many eerie coincidences in my life. And, just the timing of it, if I just look at Katniss's birthday, which we celebrate as May 15th, just based roughly on when I got her and about when she would have been born. I mean, that would have been only 2 weeks after Maddie died that Katniss would have been born, and somebody had a role in bringing her to me, and words cannot explain what a blessing she's been, how much how much she's boosted my spirits and helped me, and just how much I love that little girl. And I'm just so incredibly grateful. So, to wrap up the gotcha story part of it, who rescued who is the quote I often think of. I like to think I had a hand in helping her, she had a hand in helping me, and today we are just a great team because of it. So at the beginning of this video, I mentioned a birthday giveaway, and here's what we're gonna do. One, first of all, we have birthday tradition in this household of every single year I get a balloon, and I do some type of activity with Katniss, take photos, etc. And so for the 5th birthday, we got a balloon, and I had this genius idea to get a pool, fill it with plastic balls, and take videos. It did not work well. She was scared of the balls, but I still got a couple cute pictures. And then I was thinking, what can we do to celebrate with our amazing cat community? So on Instagram, where she has a presence, we have met so many awesome cats, and their human owners too, that have been super supportive and just an amazing presence and fur friendship. So here's what we're gonna do. For Katniss's 5th birthday, what you have to do is you watch the video, go ahead and like it, and leave a comment below telling me your cat's gotcha story. I would like to hear yours. So Katniss's, I would like to get to know you better. Tell me your cat's gotcha story, and we are going to pick 5 different responses at random, so it's going to be a random drawing, and we are going to send those 5 people and cats gift cards for Amazon so they can buy their own cat merch. Whatever it is you want. There's so many cool cat things out there, so you pick it. It's your treat. It's our treat to you. And 5 in honor of Katniss's 5th birthday. But literally, I'm legitimately interested in hearing gotcha stories. I love them. They have a special place in my heart. So that's how we would love to give back. That's how we would love to honor Katniss's birthday. And from the bottom of my heart, and from the bottom of her, paws heart, thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.